the grass is the one that suffers. In this case, the grass is the Meru people. So we must ensure that we make the right decision in a very sober manner. Both parties, I can say both parties, their representation was not convincing, both parties. And whatever they brought in here, it is something I believe, as Senator Kavindo has said, could have been solved at the Senate. The two videos at Meru, the videos that we've seen, they've portrayed the Meru men be very sex abusers. But for me, I can bear witness that in Nakuru, we have over 5,000 Meru men, and they respect women. So in that video, please, I ask Kenyans just to know that it's only those Meru men that were in those videos that it's not on the Meru men. I want to take this opportunity. I really want to take this opportunity and advise my sister, Her Excellency Governor Kawira, in the world we are living in, women to rise to the top, it takes a while, or it takes you work 5 times to reach to the top. But when you reach there, ensure you become a role model, that where women want to become like you. Men want their girls to be like you, but not their wives, because they only admire the power in you, but they don't like the power. So exercise the power that you've been bestowed by the Meru people very responsibly, so that the men can support you and walk with you. I've walked that journey, so I know. So look, going forward, ensure you go and unite the people of Meru. Unite all the leaders of Meru. Because believe me, in case of any...
Senator Ojenda.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for according me the opportunity to make a contribution to the debate before the House on the impeachment of Senator Mwangaza under Articles 181 of the Constitution. Mr. Speaker, sir, it is clear that the 7 charges leveled against the Governor of Meru have a set threshold that must be established in now settled decisions of the Supreme Court on the impeachment of Governor Sonko, and set by the Court of Appeal on the impeachment of Governor Wambora. Mr. Speaker, sir, I participated in both cases. I've also had the advantage, Mr. Speaker, sir, of participating in the impeachment of the Governor of Wajir, Mr. Mohamud, who is successfully returned to office after impeachment. The threshold question, Mr. Speaker, sir, is therefore important, and I just want to address myself to that question. Mr. Speaker, sir, the charges included misappropriation and misuse of county resources, nepotism and related unethical practices, bullying, vilification and demeaning of other leaders as set out under Article 75, 2 and 3, illegal appointments and usurpation of statutory powers, contempt of court, illegally naming a public road after a husband, and lastly, contempt of the county assembly. It is imperative that the threshold set, or that should be set and as properly defined in the Sonko case, should be above, somewhere above the doubt, and somewhere below below the threshold required for criminal trials. But Mr. Speaker, sir, turn to the effect of impeachments, and this is what should guide this assembly in voting. The effect of an impeachment is to permanently bar an individual from holding any public office. So whatever you do today, you'd be barring Governor Mwangaza from holding any public office in the Republic. Is this a fair act that this Senate should sit back and undertake when voting? I think that is the $6 million question. Mr. Speaker, sir, the gender question, and I think this is something, and I don't want to talk about scorpions and crocodiles and frogs, but in my understanding of what is before this Senate, the levels that have been defined.
Is up, Senator Charanke.
Mr. Speaker, sir, one, I want to congratulate members of County Assembly. I predicted in December that we'll go back where we are today during the first impeachment. I want to thank the MCS, Mr. Speaker. It is their constitutional right. Impeachment is a political process. Mr. Speaker, I'm happy gender is not on trial. It is about the competency, the ability, and discharge of the work of the governor. Mr. Speaker, when you look at the loss of 78 million, Mr. Speaker, the County Assembly has gone beyond and proved that the governor could not account for 78 million. Mr. Speaker, that charge has been proved. Number two, Mr. Speaker, on the appointment, I was shocked, Mr. Speaker, under Article 183, Article 65, Article Section 30 and Section 45 of the County Governments Act, Mr. Speaker. You have been a governor. It is very clear that the governor abdicated. And in fact, on the record, the governor said she had delegated her role to County Secretary, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, number three, it goes to the point. Where is the 1.5 Meru people, Mr. Speaker? It cannot be that you don't agree with the MCS, you don't agree with the church, you don't agree with Njurinjeke, you don't agree with elected leaders, 10 or 11 of them, Mr. Speaker. It is not that all others are wrong, Mr. Speaker, until you disfranchise, humiliate, vilify, bully elected leaders in front of the president. Mr. Speaker, the deputy president and the president on several occasions have tried to reconcile. What is it hard for governor to work with the rest? Because whenever a problem comes, they only come up with a gender guard. And I tell you, there is a saying that is popular that what a man can do, a woman can do more. What has happened? There were insults from the men. But did you see, Mr. Speaker, on record on WhatsApp, the governor herself said to the deputy governor, you will defecate avocado seeds, Mr. Speaker. So which insult is better than the other, Mr. Speaker? We cannot hide, Mr. Speaker. We must lift the veil. For Meru to move forward, we must stand with the MCS and give them the confidence to ensure oversight, Mr. Speaker. I can assure you, Mr. Speaker, if today Governor Kawira Mwangaza, Mr. Speaker, is shown the door, Meru will heal and will go for the better going into the future. Mr. Speaker, I submit.
Senator Osotsi.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, because of the short time, I want to start by saying that from the onset, this Senate agreed that we are going to listen to this case, the merits and demerits of the case, and make a decision. Mr. Speaker, I've spent hours here, sitting here, listening to the presentation from the two parties. And I want to say that I was shocked, Mr. Speaker, as an IT expert in my other life, that the County Assembly presented to this House an extract from IFMIS. An extract from IFMIS.
Order, honorable senators. May the senator be heard in silence.
An alleged extract from IFMIS that is not verified. Mr. Speaker, this House has passed a law called the Computer Misuse and Cybercrime Act 2018. And I participated in processing this bill. Under Section 14, subsection 2, it is very clear that any data from a computer system, especially a computer system that is categorized under Section 9 of the same Act as a critical information infrastructure, that access must be based on a consent. Mr. Speaker, we have been presented with an extract from IFMIS which has no consent. Yes, they made an attempt to get a consent, but there are other offices which could have provided the consent, like the Controller of Budget Office, the Treasury, and even the IFMIS Directorate itself. They never made that effort. Mr. Speaker, this particular extract was provided by an anonymous person called Salasio. This man has not been brought to this house to testify. This man is not known whether this money exists or not. The house cannot, a house of parliament is a house of record. We cannot be made to sit here for hours listening to submission based on a document that is not verified, a document that is unlawful. Mr. Speaker, this house has to be respected. In addition to that, Mr. Speaker, there were some submissions given as evidence of what's up. And this matter was questioned by Senator Gloria. And the council on the other side brushed over the issue. But if you go to another law that was passed by this house called the Data Protection Act, Section 26 of that act talks about the data subject rights.
Senator Mutinda.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And Mr. Speaker, I first want to start appreciating the County Assembly of Meru County for the far they've come from. It's been challenging. It's been evident out there. It's been tough. They've walked a journey like any other journey that you can walk. Every journey has turbulence. Every journey has ups and downs. I note that we have very few women governors. We have only 7. Kawera is one of them. Governor Kawera, this is the second time that you've been returned to this house. I do not agree in any capacity in regards to the videos that we've seen, especially with some of the Meru leaders who are men. Mr. Speaker, I speak as a married woman, one married from the Meru community. Meru men are respectful. What we've seen is among the few. It is sad. It should not happen. I speak as a mother of a girl child. It is sad. As women, we are very few in this house, only 21. Our positions in this government, they are few. And I want to say and urge, in the event, Madam Governor, you get a chance to go and work for the people of Meru, I challenge you and ask you and request you, bring your house in order. Because as a leader, it is not the members of parliament you will work with. It is these MCAs who have to pass your budget. It worries. If then you cannot work with them, then the budgets will not be passed. Developments will not be done. Services will not be rendered. It will be unfair for the people. If this house decides that it will be a sad affair, the worst to happen, it will be sad because we'll have reduced from 7 to 6 governors. So I request you, I urge you that with whatever results that shall be there, we try as leaders to ensure that we try and work together, because without working with these same MCAs, there is no opportunity. I worked with you last time up there, and that is why all the time you'll find that the cameras, the gazettes, will always have my point.
Senator Faki.
Asante Mheshimiwa Spika kwa kunipa fursa hii kuchangia mjadala huu muhimu. ambao uko mbele yetu. Kwanza napongeza pande zote mbili, pande ya Assembly na pande ya Governor kwa kuja bunge la Senate kujaribu kutatua matatizo yao. Na upande wote uamuzi utakaotoka hapa ni kwamba hakuna upande ambao utakuwa umeshinda. Ni kwamba uamuzi utakaotoka hapa utakuwa ni uamuzi wa bunge ambao lazima tuukubali na vile vile pia utekeleze kama itakavyokubalika. Mheshimiwa Spika, sisi kama Waislamu tunasema kosa moja haliachi mke, haliachi bibi, kosa moja haliachi bibi. Na tunasema pia kwamba talaka ni mara 3. Unaweza kumpa bibi talaka akenda akarudi, kampa ya pili akenda akarudi, ya 3 ndio inakuwa ya mwisho. Kwa hiyo Mheshimiwa Spika, Governor Kawira alikuja hapa mara ya kwanza mwaka jana nafikiri, na talaka haikuweza kupita. Kwa hiyo Mheshimiwa Spika ana fursa nyingine kuja hapa kuja kuangalia ni vipi ambao tutatokea matatizo yake. Mheshimiwa Spika, ni kwamba ni masikitiko kwamba ushahidi uliotolewa haukuweza kuthibitisha makosa ambayo yamedaiwa kufanyika na Governor Kawira. Mheshimiwa Spika, tukiangalia makosa yote ambayo yamezungumziwa hapa na ushahidi ulioletwa haukuweza kufikia kiwango ambacho kimewekwa na mahakama ya upeo kabisa, yani Supreme Court, katika kuangalia masuala kama haya. Kwa hiyo Mheshimiwa Spika, itakuwa ni dhuluma kubwa kuweza kumpeleka nyumbani Governor Kawira kwa ushahidi ambao haukufikia kiwango unachohitajika na mahakama. Mheshimiwa Spika, uamuzi utakaofanywa usiku wa leo hautasaidia yale matatizo ambayo yako Meru samahani. Na ni jukumu la viongozi ambao wamechaguliwa wote kuhakikisha kwamba tatizo hili wameweza kulitatua wao kama viongozi wa Meru, kwa sababu matatizo ya Meru hayawezi kutatuliwa na viongozi wa kutoka Isiolo, hawezi kuchaguliwa na viongozi kutoka Mombasa, wala viongozi kutoka sehemu yoyote, isipokuwa watu wa Meru wenyewe wakae chini waangalie matatizo haya waweze kuamua, ili watu wa Meru waweze kupata maendeleo kama ilivyotarajiwa na katiba yetu ya mwaka 2010. Kwa hiyo Mheshimiwa Spika, kwa kumalizia ni kwamba tumepata fursa ya kujua matatizo ya Meru, na fursa hii ni fursa ambayo iko katika kaunti zetu zote ambazo tuko nazo katika nchi yetu ya Kenya. Na isiwe kwamba wakitoka hapa mmoja amesema mimi nimeshinda. La, watakaokuwa wameshinda ni watu wa Meru kupata uongozi na kupata viongozi ambao watasaidia kupeleka kaunti ya Meru mbele. Asante sana Mheshimiwa Speaker.
Senator Methu.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, for giving me an opportunity to speak to this motion. Honorable Speaker, this evening I've been called upon to make a very difficult decision. A decision that if we send Governor Kawira home, then her career comes to a grinding halt. Honorable Speaker, as it has been said, the threshold of an impeachment has been set in Article 181 of the Constitution of Kenya. It has also been very well spelled out in the precedents that have been set in the decision of the High Court in the Wambora case and in the decision of the Court of Appeal in the Wambora case, Honorable Speaker. Well, I thank the County Assembly for, because it is within their functions to process an impeachment. When I looked at the charges that have been placed against the Governor of Meru, Honorable Speaker, as a person who sits in the Public Accounts Committee, I looked at the evidence that was adduced in charge number 1, misappropriation and misuse of county resources. And Honorable Speaker, as a member who sits in that committee, we all agree that an infamous extract cannot become evidence as to why and how the Governor of Meru is corrupt on this particular charge, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, on the charge number 2, on nepotism and unrelated ethical practices, when the council and the team from the County Assembly was called upon to come and give evidence in chief as to how the Governor of Meru is nepotistic, Honorable Speaker, they told us that it is public knowledge that the people that are in those photos are her relatives, Honorable Speaker. So, Honorable Speaker, how am I supposed to know that a person that appears in a photo is a relative of Senator Olekina, is my own relative? Many people have said that the person who was playing guitar on this video looks like myself. How am I not? How, Mr. Speaker, is it that finally, Honorable Speaker, on charge number 3, on bullying, verification and demeaning of other leaders, Honorable Speaker, The evidence that was brought by the county assembly was of a man playing guitar here, singing when Wenyewivu Wajinyonge. You know, that was the accusation that the Governor Kawira demeans other leaders. On the contrary, Honorable Speaker, the video that was played by the defense of the governor, Honorable Speaker, it printed an image of a patriarchal community, you know, deep, painful images that I would never want. My own children, my own wife. Honorable Speaker, that is not the society that we would want for our daughters, Honorable Speaker. It is not a mistake for anybody to become a leader and she's a woman, Honorable Speaker. It is not a mistake, Honorable Speaker, and it is not the way that we can encourage our girls to become leaders, Honorable Speaker, that when you are a leader, if you disagree with other people, they use sexuality to harass you, Honorable Speaker.
Now, Honorable Senators, at this juncture, I will call the Governor. Governor Kawira, you have 10 minutes to address the Senate. The order, Honorable Senators, order. Honorable Kawira, you can take the stand. You have 10 minutes. Order, Honorable Senators. Order, Senators. Senator Gloria Oroba, leave the chamber immediately. Heston, please. Heston or the Sergeant at Arms will help you. Proceed, Governor.
Honorable Speaker.
Order, Senators. Let us hear the Governor in silence, please.
Honorable Speaker. Honorable members.
Order, Senators. Let us hear the Governor in silence.
Honorable Speaker and Honorable Senators of this House, I want to take this opportunity to really thank you for your time. I know it has not been easy for you. God bless you for your time. Honorable Speaker, I'm here today pleading with this House. And I want to say it in Kiswahili. Mateso ni mengi, lakini Mungu tusaidia. If I have wronged any person in this House, in Meru, in Kenya, I pray for forgiveness. As a mother, a leader, it is my duty to unite Meru people. And I pray for more grace, that God will give me power to bring all the leaders together. I pray unto our Father to give me more energy, to give me more grace. Na Mungu anipe kuvumilia kwingi to see Meru people happy. The members of Parliament, our dear Deputy Senator of this House, the MCAs, Deputy Speaker, If I've wronged any one of you, forgive me. Honorable Speaker, I was elected as an independent governor. I know I need MCS. I've tried my best, and I shall still continue trying my best to see that I work with everyone. Honorable Speaker and this Honorable House, no one is an angel. I'm not an angel. Each and every one of us has his or her own weaknesses. It is my prayer to God that the weaknesses that they might have, God will help me, so that we work together as a team and make Meru people happy. Honorable Speaker, honorable members of this House, I take this opportunity again to say thank you, and I pray that you give me a second chance. God bless you.
Honorable Senators, I will allow the Senator for Meru 5 minutes to address the House.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for this opportunity also to make my contribution to the motion. And Honorable Speaker, on the onset is maybe to challenge the procedure, because I wish we are making these comments after we did the voting. Because, Honorable Speaker, if we hear the comments of many senators here, even the Madam Governor, it's like we have concluded the business and still we are to cast our votes. So, Mr. Speaker, nevertheless, I want to say that this House, on Article 96(1) of the Constitution, the Senate represents counties and it serves to protect the interests of the counties and their governments. And Mr. Speaker, I wish before any governor is brought to this House to prosecute any impeachment procedure or process, this House can be able to go to that particular county, understand the issues that have been released by the members of the county assembly of that particular county. Mr. Speaker, you know I live in Meru, and even tomorrow I'll be traveling to Meru. All the 47 or the 67 senators who are here, they don't live in Meru. So, Mr. Speaker, I wish during this process, at some point, before the governor is brought to this assembly or this House, there is a process that can be an intermediary in a way that these issues can be canvassed. And I want to thank Senator Omtata in his, what he is trying to do in his petition. I wish a tribunal can be set up. A tribunal can be able to sit with the MCs, with the governor, with the leaders of that particular county, so that they can be heard by that tribunal. But when any governor is impeached and brought to the Senate immediately and directly, members of that particular county loses that opportunity to prosecute the issues, Honorable Speaker. So on this particular case, let me say that Meru, where I live, we have a problem, and a big one, Mr. Speaker. And you have one, the governor has confessed that she has some weaknesses that she will pray on to help her overcome. So that tells us that there is a problem in Meru, and Mr. Speaker, it is not the way we put our steps, we clap, we shout, but Meru has issues that need to be addressed. And because Meru is not living in a vacuum, I want to address the head of state, His Excellency the President, to take charge and understand what is in Meru, what is ailing Meru County. I want to thank the MCAs. They have done their work excellently. There is no way that 59 MCAs can be logged or manned that impeached the governor for the third time. The MCAs have issues that they have raised in their petition. But also, Mr. Speaker, you know, unless these gentlemen and ladies are hand, then we can never solve Meru issues. As I speak here, Mr. Speaker, I want to tell this House and convince them enough that Meru has issues, has problems. And also, Mr. Speaker, when we see creeps print in vernacular, I also wanted to actually challenge also that process of executing these witnesses. When a creep is print in vernacular, some are not audible, and then what is translated might not be what was said. So what do we have to say that this script is very articulate? So, Mr. Speaker, what I want to request my colleagues here, as we make this decision, look to all the counts. Let us not bring down to only one issue about women. This thing called Kebiri, is it an instrument or this used to stand orange or maziwarara? So, Mr. Speaker, that particular creep, to me, as a Merulinda, I think there was a misrepresentation of the meaning of that particular creep, Mr. Speaker. So as we also make our decision, I hope the Senate can still review those creeps.
Honorable Deputy Speaker, your time is up. Now, honorable senators, at this juncture, I will call upon the mover to reply.
Mr. Speaker, sir, I've had opportunity to listen to colleague senators, and of course the views are far and wide, as you'd imagine. Many agree, many disagree with what has been spoken about here. Mr. Speaker, sir, I want to humbly plead with the House that immediately after this procedure, please let us conclude the impeachment procedure bill. We cannot be the House that is castigating county assemblies for not having lived up to the dictates of our Constitution, yet as a Senate for 3 terms, we have not been able to guide our county assemblies on how to properly carry out an impeachment. It is my humble submission, Mr. Speaker, that the County Assembly of Meru did their job exceptionally well. In fact, Mr. Speaker, because you are drawing close, to me, there are certain charges among SS7 that the County Assembly has proved beyond reasonable doubt. Mr. Speaker, it is unfortunate that we find ourselves in such a situation where I think, like one senator has said, damned if you do, damned if you don't. And I want to reiterate as I conclude, Mr. Speaker, what I prescribed earlier in my moving notes, that either way, whether we save Governor Kawerwa or whether we impeach her, Meru people will still need the guidance of this House, because there are no easy way out of the current situation. The failure that exists in Meru is far and beyond either saving or impeaching a particular governor. Therefore, Mr. Speaker, I want to request our colleagues that let's conclude this exercise. Cast your vote with your conscience. Listen to what the people of Meru are saying. You cannot, Mr. Speaker, openly side and say that certain leaders have spoken about things that do not impress you, while we have seen that actually it appears to be a culture in Meru where every leader, including none other than this Governor Kawera, who's here with us, say very foul things to each other. That is a bad culture that we need not encourage in our politics. Therefore, my final words, Mr. Speaker, to Governor Kawera, I don't know whether we will survive or fall, but Governor, take time to read the Bible. Don't just preach. If you read the Bible, you will find answers to some of the questions that continue to follow you. It cannot be, like many have observed, that all these 59 MCAs that are saying in less than 1 year, on 2 occasions, that you are unfit to hold office, and they be thoroughly wrong. There is something that you need to soul search and find deep within yourself to reflect, Madam Governor. And should perhaps God grant you grace and you continue to serve these people, please change your ways and find it in your heart to work with other leaders. That is not to say that I know how this vote will go. It is now the opportunity of the 47 delegations. Mr. Speaker, I'm being told to talk to the MPs, but they are our colleagues, Madam Speaker, and you know, many of them actually, anyway, I don't want to be, Mr. Speaker, we are really pressed for time, and I want senators to vote before midnight. And I think I have said everything that I need to say. I think if the glove doesn't fit, you must acquit. I thank you.
Now, honorable senators, pursuant to Standing Order 84-1, I do make a determination that this matter indeed affects counties, and therefore voting shall be by delegations. I will direct the Sergeant at Arms to ring the bell for 10 minutes. Now, the reason why the bell needs to be rung for 10 minutes, the system needs to reboot. It has been overstretched beyond its limit. If we start voting now, it's going to collapse. So for those 10 minutes, the system will reboot, and then voting shall be done electronically. Thank you.